I see you guys jumping on. Welcome, welcome, guys, to questions asked number 106. The question at the top of the key: how do you counter offer the BPO fees? The question at the top of the key today: how do you counter offer the BPO fees? All right, so for those of you who don't know me, I am Angela Cooper. I am a business coach. I help real estate agents increase their income while waiting on buyers and sellers to close. Now, you guys know that is a big issue when you have closings and you're waiting and you don't have a full pipeline, and sometimes it might take 30 to 60 days for you to get paid. That's the issue, okay? So I help real estate agents increase their income while waiting on buyers and sellers to close. One of the ways that I do that, guys, is right here with this platform, Broker Price Opinions. Okay? All right. So for those of you who are visiting this page for the first time, go ahead and like the page. If you're chiming in from YouTube, guys, go ahead, smash that subscribe button. We always love the new YouTube subscribers as well as Instagram subscribers. Okay? If you're visiting after the fact, hashtag replay. I will get your questions asked within 24 hours. And if you're brand new to the page or brand new to real estate, how about that? If you're brand new to real estate or broker price opinions, go ahead, drop a 1 in the comment area. We have something especially for you. All right. So the question at the top of the key: how do you counter offer the BPO fees? Okay, so when you get a offer from a BPO company, typically you're going to get a text message or an email message. Now, sometimes, depending on what company it is, you cannot counter offer via the text message. Okay, you have to go into your email platform and hit the counter offer button. Sometimes the counter offer button is not there on email, on a text message, but it is there on email. Okay. I know somebody asked specifically about connect valuation. Okay. They don't always have a counter offer button. So if there's not a counter offer button, guys, you're going to have to directly email them and counter offer that BPO. Okay. Sometimes you have to email directly to the person that's sending you the message. Now, if you get a no reply, if you're getting your notification from a no reply email, then it's going to be a little hard for you to email back and counter offer. So what you have to do at that point is that you have to find out what their support email address is. Okay. Sometimes you get offers directly from the coach that handles your division. Okay. Every company has asset managers assigned to a certain division, whether it's the Southwestern division, Southeastern California division, New York division. Everybody have a group of people that they send BPO messages out to. Okay. So you have to find out who that person is. If you can't find out who that person is, then you're going to have to directly email support and counter offer that BPO. Now here's a catch. It's a catch 22 to that. Okay? The catch 22 to that. By the time you counter offer via email, it might be gone. Okay? By the time you counter offer via email, it could be gone. So what I used to do was I used to keep an email list in my notepad from every company that did not have a counter offer button. Okay, so every company won't have a counter offer button. Sometimes you have to email them direct. So keep the listing in your notepad so that you can just on the go, on the fly, copy and paste, send that email back to them and put the order number on it. All you have to do is put the order number in the reference area, and then they'll know what order you're referring to. And just counter offer it that way. It won't always be there when you come back. But if you get your system down, a good system, okay, you can catch it pretty quickly. Let me tell you, you know, in BPO mastery, that's what we talk about, systems, okay? The system is something that you really have to get with. You have to get with that program. If you don't have a routine, systematic way of doing things all the time, you're going to be chasing BPOs for a good minute. I'm just saying. You're going to be chasing BPOs. So question number 2. So y'all got that? Counter offer through the support email, or the branch manager or district manager, whoever it is that handles your particular area. Okay? All right. Where do I look for details about the range of sales in the area? Like, what is the medium range of homes sold? How many was sold for the last 12 months? What were the amount of the lowest sales? What was the amount of the highest? What was the amount? So you can either find that information in the tax record, or if you go very quickly, if you're doing your BPOs and you focused on doing your BPOs in 1 hour or less, you just look at the list range of, like, if you search for a mile out and you pick all 6 of your comps within that mile, then you just use the range that you have there in front of you. Face, front, face, and center, okay, on your page. Now, a lot of you guys y'all know my words, y'all have them crazy, jacked up MLS companies that they're not very friendly, okay? All of my comps, if I have 31 comps that I'm looking at all 31 of my comps on the front page. I'm not going over here and over there trying to figure out, well, what's the lowest range and what's, subdivision has the high. I'm not doing all of that. Everything is on one page for me. If you try to keep everything on one page, you'll learn how to do your BPOs in 1 hour or less. I promise you. Okay? Everything is about your MLS, where it's set up. You're going to be dealing with 2 things, MLS and tax records. You're not going to be dealing with, how can I say it, Zillow, Trulia, you're not going to be dealing with all of those different companies when you're doing your BPOs. You should be doing your BPOs based on the MLS in your market area. That is the number one thing the BPO company asks you. Do you have MLS availability in this area? And they give you a zip code. If you don't have MLS availability in that area, you shouldn't be all over the computer trying to find your information on realtor.com and Trulia.com and Zillow.com. I never use any of those people when I'm doing my BPOs. If you're using all of those people to do your BPOs, you need to take BPO mastery seriously, okay? You need to take your BP. You're not taking your BPO business serious, because if you were, you would be consolidating, trying to find all of your information inside your MLS. That's the purpose of you being on MLS. Why are you even paying for MLS if you're not using it? And if you don't know how to use it properly, shame on you. Because I talk about this all the time. Your MLS is going to make you or break you. And if you don't figure out quickly how to use it, that's why people are always talking about, oh Lord, BPOs are so time consuming. No, they're not. I can do 10 BPOs in 1 day. Seriously. And if I really push it, I can do 20 in 1 day. Why? Because I have my system set up properly. Everything is about your system. So where do you find this range of sales for the whole entire area? A link inside the tax record. Okay. Um, you can look inside there and they'll tell you about the whole area. Or if you're gonna do like me and follow what I do, I'm looking at everything on my screen. What's the range? Whatever I see on my screen, that's the range. What's the medium? If it's a range between 240,000 and 330,000, I'm going straight in the middle. That's the median. Okay? You should not be all over the place looking for those type of statistics, if you will. Okay? I'm just saying. You guys have got to do better with if you're adapting to a system. If you're not going to create your own, go over there to BPO Mastery and use the one I created. You see? That's question number 2. Where do I look for details about the immediate subdivision or the immediate market area to find the range of sales, the medium, how many total, if I'm doing a condo, guess what they're gonna ask me? How many total condos is in this one unit where this subject is located? Okay, so the subject address might be 230 First Street. Okay, that whole building is 230 or 231 First Street. Okay, how many condos is in that building? Yeah, they will ask you that. Go to the tax records and see. All you got to do is put that building number in without a unit number, and it'll tell you right off the top on the top line how many units is in that condominium complex. You see? So you got to think smart if you're trying to do your BPOs in 1 hour or less. That should be your whole focus when you start on your BPO. I got to get this done in 1 hour or less. Okay? And you should be quickly finding your information in the MLS. All right. So question number 3, guys, before we go to question number 3, you guys know the drill. If you're visiting here on Facebook for the first time, go ahead and like the page. If you're watching from YouTube, go ahead, guys, smash that subscribe button. If you're visiting after the fact, hashtag replay, okay? And if you want your questions asked today while we are live, go ahead and put your questions in the comment area. I do have a question, I think. Melissa Wait Wallace say, do you use RPR? No, I don't. I know about it. I have it. Because I pay dues to NAR, I'm subscribed to RPR, but I don't use that. I use my local MLS because I'm in the Houston area, so I use Houston Association of Realtors. Okay, that's the MLS that covers every county in my little area. I don't use RPR because number one, I don't have time to set up 2 MLSs like I want to quickly see. I use custom views in my MLS a lot. And I can just hit a button, it's gonna take me right where I wanna be right now, real quick, real fast. Okay? When I go to RPR, they don't allow you to set up everything like that, in my opinion. I've used it 2 times, probably less than 10 times, maybe 5, just to see what it was all about. And I use it a lot when I'm helping other agents during a coaching session. I don't really care for it because, if I have a local MLS that I can do I can customize it the way I want to. That's what I'm going to use because my focus is getting this BPO done in 1 hour or less. And, if you're using RPR versus a paid MLS, because that comes with when you pay your HAR national dues, I guess. Um, but it just doesn't fine tune everything enough for me. Okay, maybe for you guys, but for me, it just don't. Melissa say, I love your get it done quick process. Thank you, Melissa. Are you a BPO mastery student? Melissa. Are you a mastery student? Yeah, everything in my system is about getting it done quickly. Okay. I think somebody asked today, which is question number 4, is it better to use autofill or is it better to use a VA? We're going to get to that question and I'm going to tell you why. No, I'm new to this world. Okay, good. So listen, Melissa, you don't have to get in the mastery program, but I promise you, if you're taking 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 hours and getting headaches behind trying to do your BPOs, I mean, I've been using this system that I use, that I've created in BPO Mastery. I've been doing BPO since 2001. How many years is that? Okay. I promise you, I had to learn all this stuff the hard way. So I'm giving it to you guys the quick, easy, simple way. You need to be able to do 10 or 12 BPOs in one day. Why not? It only takes like 30 minutes to do one. I'm just saying. And plus 10 BPOs is like what, an average of $300 to $400 in one day. That's it. Okay. All right. So question number 3: what kind of adjustments do I use for land values? What kind of adjustments do I use for land values? Okay, so there's two different things: land values and lot sizes, but they kind of is the same thing, if you will. But if you have a company that's asking you the low and the high for your land values, there's no low and high. Okay, whatever that tax record say the land is valued at, that's what it's valued at. That is the low and that is the high. Okay, and then such a headache. My husband says just going through learning curve. I say headache. It is really just going through a learning curve, Melissa. But once you do probably about 5 or 6 BPOs in a systematic way, you're gonna find out that it's not really such a headache after all. I challenge myself all the time because when these companies try to throw me a curveball and talk about at 10 o'clock in the morning, you know, can I pay you $60 to get this BPO back to me by 1 o'clock? I say no. I'll do it for 75 or 85. But at 10 o'clock and then 1 o'clock, that's only 4 hours. So I still have another schedule of everything else I'm doing. So now I gotta weave this in, go out and get the pictures, come back, give it to them. If it's about 75, $85, I'll do it because I know I can do that one BPO within 1 hour, including the pictures, get them out the way, make that $75 and go on and make my, $300-400 day. Because my goal is always going to be a very, at the bare minimum, if I'm minimum $300 to $400 a day. I don't care what platform I'm using. If I'm doing BPOs, notary, weight loss and nutrition, I don't care. I'm not going to sleep until I've made $300 or $400 for one given day. Period. End of story. Okay? That's gonna be what? $1,500 to $2,000 a week. That's what I'm looking for in life. And if it ain't happening like that, it's a problem. Okay? So you just gotta, it is a learning curve. And you have to learn. Creating income is a learning curve too. You have to learn how to create income that helps you to reach your goals. You see? So that's the way I look at BPOs. If I if I pretty much start my week out like Monday, if I start Friday when I end my week, if I'm already $500 or $600 in the whole advance for the next week, then I might not take a lot of BPOs. But if I'm not, I'm gonna get the money. That's just it. And yes, I can do 20 in one day if I have to. In 24 to 48 hours. When I say in one day, I'm going to take 20, but I'm going to turn them around in 24 to 48 hours because keep in mind, while I'm turning them 20 around, I'm still getting BPOs. You see? So you just have to learn how to work the system. It is a learning curve, so to speak, but once you get it, listen, when I get BPO mastery students, they get 3 free coaching sessions. Okay? Some of them use all 3. But I promise you, once by the time they get to that third coaching session, they making 7, 8, $900 a week. They don't really, need me that much anymore. They'll pop up every blue moon. You see? Because once you learn it, you just keep doing the same thing the same way. It's like riding a bike. I do long signings run. I countered on first batch of BPO offers. They accepted 200. Oh, that's good. You counter offered on your first batch of BPOs and you got $200 for each BPO. That's really good. I don't know what company that was, but whoever that was, you need to keep doing BPOs for them. Because the only way they're going to counter offers of $200 in Texas, you're going to be driving a good ways. I'm just saying. Okay, let's go to question number values. Why adjust for land values? Basically, that's a formula. It's really a formula. If you have a small lot that's 6,000 square feet and then you bumping it up against 1 acre, you got to do a whole formula to figure out what variable you're going to use or multiplier you're going to use to talk about how much the land is worth for 6,000 square feet versus whole acre. That's a formula that you have to do. If you're a BPO mastery student, pick it up in your adjustments because I give you the entire formula on lot values and I show you how to break it down and how to subtract money from the 1 acre and how to add money to the smaller lot. Okay? It's a whole entire formula. I can't really even go at, on a you have to like this because it's a formula that you have to use. It's not just you adjust, $1,000 for 1 bedroom or $1,000 for a full bathroom. You can kind of do that off the top of your head. But when it comes to lot values, if you have a big gap in your lot values, you have to use a formula. I have a special formula that I use for lot values that has been accepted throughout the whole 20-year career. So that's why I adopted it and I kept it and I teach it in BPO Mastery. Okay? You just have to figure out what the value is of your subject lot, your land value of the subject lot, and then you have to do this formula to either add or subtract from your comps. Okay? But everything is based on what the value is for your subject lot. Okay? But keep in mind, every lot values are not gonna be the same. You're gonna use the same formula, but you might have a lot that's in your subject, but maybe 3/4 of a mile away, those lots over there are much higher in value than your subject. That's why you have to use a special formula to figure out the values for land values. Okay? I know I'm not answering that perfectly, but it is a formula for that. All right. So, is it better to use autofill software or is it better to use a VA? Okay. That depends on how many BPOs you're doing. If I have 3 or 4 BPOs that I'm trying to complete in one day, I'm probably just going to use my autofill software and I'm going to finish it up based on whatever the review is after it autofill. Because keep in mind, even though you have autofill software, it's not going to fill 100% of that form. It's not. It's only going to fill about the best autofill software I've ever used, fill about 87%. Okay? So that other 10%, you're going to have to fill yourself. So based on how many BPOs you have for that day, if I have 20 BPOs for the day, I'm going to use autofill and a VA. But if I have 5 or less, I'm probably just going to use the autofill and I'm going to do it because I don't need the VA. Because I can do 10% autofill in 10 minutes, you know. After I autofill the whole entire BPO, it'll probably take me about 10, no more than 12 minutes to finish filling out the rest. You just gotta get with the system, okay? You just gotta know what you're doing and how to do it fast. That's it. Okay. Now, if I have 20 BPOs, I'm gonna let the the autofill software fill every BPO, and I'm gonna steady be sending it, out to my VA, letting her data input the rest. But never ever let a VA do your values for you. You're not supposed to let a VA do your values, and you're not supposed to let them, go and take your photos. You need to put your eyes on the property, unless you got a really good system. Now, we ain't gonna talk about the secret sauce. You already know about that, okay? You don't tell everybody what your secret sauce is, but if you're using a secret sauce, okay, you get that done. You see? But as far as which company has the best autofill software, that's gonna be to each his own. It depends again on how many BPOs you're doing. The company I use, they feel pretty good. They autofill pretty good, but I pay like $50 compared to what I used to pay $120 for my autofill software per month. Okay, I used to pay $120 per month for that autofill software. Yes, it fills a lot of fields, FIELDS. They offer a lot of fields in that other company. But can I get by with 75% versus 89%? I can because I know what I'm doing. So if I can cut my monthly spend over 50% and use the same amount of speed for my autofill, of course, I'm going to use the company that's charging me less. You see? But that all depends on who the person is, how much skill set you have in doing your BPOs. And also, even though you do the autofill, you still have to review that BPO after the software has done the autofill. So if you don't really know what you're looking for, you still gonna be lost. I used to do coaching for an autofill company, and they would prefer that a person know how to manually enter the BPOs before they even get on the autofill software. So if you're not real familiar with what you're looking for when you review your own BPO, you almost have to be reviewing your BPO as if you were a quality control specialist. And you need to be able to quickly spot anything that's wrong. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't even be on autofill. You see? Melissa say, a BPO assistant. Yeah, you can. Oh, the software you're using is BPO assistant. What? That's the name of the company? BPO assistant. I'm not sure about that. I think I use BPO assistant too, but I think they call it something else, like foreclosures, something like that. Is that the company you're talking about? Their website is talking about foreclosures or something, right? I haven't been with them very long. Is that the program? Yeah, that's the program that I use. But the name of their login is called foreclosures or something like that. I've just started using them about maybe less than a year. I haven't used them for more than a year. But for the price, their software is not bad for the price. Now, if you want more fields, FIELDS, to fill your uh, to fill your report, then BPO hyphen automation is going to give you more fields, FIELDS. Okay? Yeah, track my foreclosures. That's them. Track my foreclosures. They're not bad. They're good. They have a good piece of software. But keep in mind, depending on how experienced you are at doing your BPOs, if you're taking 20 BPOs a day, you might need to use the autofill and the VA at the same time. But if I send any reports to my VA without autofill, I pay extra. I put it like that. And I don't pay my VA hourly. I pay my VA per report that they auto, that they data entry that they fill in. I pay them per report. I don't pay my VA hourly. So if I don't get work, they don't get work. If I don't get paid, they don't get paid. You see, Melissa? Don't that make sense? So BPO hyphen automation is another autofield company. Also, we have a young lady in the group named Miss Rhonda that's in this group. She has an autofield software as well. I'll try to connect you to her when we get off. But hers is in the beta stage, okay? So, she might be able to help you with some autofill as well. But for me, I do too many BPOs you know, uh, to do Miss Rhonda's software because when I get all different kind of numbers on my reports, and a lot of times hers don't fill everything that I need done, but that's not to say it won't work for you. Her software, I think several of the people in the group use her software as well. But yeah, trackmyforeclosures.com. They're a good company and they do answer. I like it because they do answer. Although I did have a problem with Box Tour on one of my forums last time that they, you know, couldn't get me. Now, one thing I have to say about them, if you're getting a response from them like we don't have time to, if there's a glitch in the report and they don't have time to fix that glitch for you before the day is over and you got 10 or 12 BPOs for that one company, you need to move on to BPO automation or somebody because I had that problem with them, but I only had one report that they couldn't get to in order to fix the glitch in my software. But I'm real high on customer service. If I'd rather pay $100 for somebody that can fix my software quickly than to pay $50 for somebody that's gonna go 2 days without fixing my glitch. You see? Because if you're doing a lot of BPOs, you cannot afford to go 1 day without having that glitch fixed. It's bpomastery.com. Melissa, can you type that in the comment area? The training that I offer is bpomastery.com, Melissa. So that is going to kind of wrap it up for today, guys. Which is better to use? What autofill company? Use the autofill company that's going to give you the best customer service and the maximum a number of fields, FIELDS, that's going to autofill your reports. Now, for me, it's the same one here that Melissa is talking about. Trackmyforeclosures.com. I've been using them for the last year, okay? But keep in mind, I used BPO hyphen automation for 20 years, okay? The only reason I stopped using BPO automation is because it was a conflict of interest with me and the other, she's a BPO coach as well. And I'm not going to send my students and my following to somebody that don't want me. She didn't want me because she said, I was direct competition to her. Ain't nobody got time for that, you know? So that's why I moved over to trackmyforeclosures.com. And they're just as good. Like I say, I haven't had any problems with them at all. One time I had an issue with getting my glitch fixed the same day. Okay. But they did respond. They just didn't fix it. You see? Now, if that happens too many times, I'll figure out a way to go back to BPO automation. I don't know. Me and girlfriend will have to have a conversation. For questions asked. Listen, guys, that wraps it up for questions asked number 106. Questions, go ahead and put your questions in the comment area. If not, we're going to shut it down for the evening. Any more questions? Guys, you guys go out there. Let's go and crash it this week. Let's go get this money, and I will see you guys on the next one. It was nice meeting you as well, Miss Melissa. You guys have a great week. Bye now.